Well, for more on this, let's cross to Juan Pablo Ferrero, Senior Lecturer in Latin American Politics at the Department of Politics, Language and International Studies from the University of Bath. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Ferrero. This Argentine runoff vote, it's obviously being contested between two highly polarizing candidates, but it is set to go down to the wire. What are we expecting come the end of Sunday night?
Well, good evening. We are an hour away from the polls. The polls will be closing, and possibly a few hours away from knowing the results. I think the headlines so far is that it's been a very peaceful, democratic day in Argentina. Early reports are saying that turnout is even higher than in the first round. It might end up being nearly 80% of the people. And it is the 40th anniversary since democratization in Argentina. So these elections are extraordinary in many different senses.
And just talk to me about the two candidates. We got Javier Milei, and then on the other side, just Massa, who is just a completely different side of the spectrum politically. So what are people saying on the streets of Buenos Aires in terms of what they want to see in a candidate, especially given the country's economic standing right now?
Yeah, totally. The backdrop, as maybe your viewers know, is a context of economic crisis with a very high inflation, triple-digit inflation. And actually, Sergio Massa is the current Minister of Economy. He's been the Minister of Economy for the past year. So it is extraordinary that the fact that he does have a chance of winning this election. He's a sort of mainstream professional politician. He's a lawyer. And the challenger, Milei, he's an outsider in terms of the political spectrum, and he comes with very radical proposals, including the challenging of Argentina has many different problems and has had many different problems throughout history, but has built in the past 40 years of democratizations two key building blocks, two key consensus, one around human rights and the second around its electoral system. And this outsider is challenging them both.
Now, obviously, we've got Milei, and he is in picture. He was there just now. He's been compared to as almost like an Argentine Donald Trump in many ways. But this would mean he is anti-establishment, anti-globalist order. Nonetheless, Argentina will have to renegotiate, possibly with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, to raise themselves out of this economic mess. How would we see that under a Milei leadership?
Well, it's very difficult to imagine some practicalities of Milei's government because he's some very radical proposals, and over the past few weeks he's been sort of withdrawing those proposals. He's launched, for instance, the idea of dollarizing the economy, killing the Argentine peso and replacing it by the US dollar, but he hasn't explained how he would do that. Where would those US dollars come from? So it's very speculative what we can say. So definitely the victory of Javier Milei would put the country in a very, very cliff edge, and that would throw shockwaves across the region.
Thank you so much. That's Juan Pablo Ferrero. He is a senior lecturer in Latin American politics from the University of Bath. And those polls in Argentina set to close in just over an hour.